So today we decided to roll up to Southeastern Salvage Home Emporium. I'm like, where do you go in?
See the door?
Yeah, well, I thought you could go up right there. Huh?
I said maybe if you get out the truck.
Well, I'm on my phone for a reason. Now I got to record all over that. So yeah, when we got in here, it was too much music playing and I didn't want to be copyrighted. So there's my husband looking at some of the ceramics when you first come into the store. And then we just basically were, checking some of the things out as we were window shopping. Here goes some wine bag holders that we saw. And then in this aisle, these were pillowcase covers. At first, I thought they might have been like placement mats for like your dining room table, but once I took a look at the description on the pink tags, it told me that those were basically pillow covers. So I thought that was interesting. And then they just had, little things like bags and, pouches and whatnot. So some of the quality was really, nice. I really like this print here. Doesn't necessarily match anything in my living room, but I really liked it. And then I got here and I couldn't get through that way, so I had to basically turn around. Here was a really solid wood table. I love the chairs. When it says like natural wood, that wood was so heavy. There was like no way to even move that table to the left or the right. And like I said, I really love those chairs. Me and my husband have been doing some plant adventures. And so we saw this greenhouse, and I thought it was a really good deal coming in at, less than $100. So I thought that was cute. The only challenge I saw with it is, hunkering it down so that it wouldn't blow away with some of the bad weather. Here's my husband with a telephone booth that was basically like a wine rack and a shelf. So here we are laughing and walking through this warehouse or store or whatever. And like I said, I had to tape over this just because the music was so loud. They were playing really good music, but it was just so loud that I didn't want to be copyrighted. So we were just taking a walk through this. This part almost reminded me of like going to Habitat for Humanity, like the restores or the rehab stores, because they had a lot of like cabinets and doors. So if you were remodeling your house or doing some work, they had a lot of different options. So we just were walking around and checking out some of the things that they had down these aisles because it had a lot of woodworking. And then we came to the end and we were essentially like, okay, we need to turn around. So that's us getting ready to turn around. Plus, it was getting a little dark at the end of that aisle, and I was like, let's turn around because it was a little dusty in there, the farther we went out, just because it was like so big in there. So they had furniture that was like wrapped up in the middle of the aisles. And like I said, there was just so much stuff there, a lot to take in. So now we are in the rug section, and they had a lot of rugs. Like I said, the only challenge we had once we started checking out some of these rugs was that it was very dusty. My husband was having me feel this rug because he said he thought the texture would be a good rug for outside in the gazebo. And I was like, I think it's going to have bugs and stuff like that. So, no. So now we're just checking out some of the rugs and feeling some of the texture of some of the rugs. Like I said, they had so many, and they had them hanging up all around, but they also had a lot of rugs in the center just laying on display as well. So he and I were looking at this texture. This was a yellow rug. I really liked the color of that rug. I just didn't like the texture. So as we're going along, as you can see, we're just checking out, what the rugs look like and basically the cost of the rugs. And I would say in comparison to like some places that I've gone and seen rugs, I would say that some of them were pretty reasonable in terms of cost. I thought that white rug was really nice. I like the texture of it. Nothing in my living room is white, but I really like the texture and the way it looked. And then by the time we got back here, I was sneezing so bad that my husband was like, do you want to turn around? Because you are sneezing because there's a lot of dust in here. So that would have been like my only concern bringing a rug home because of the dust level in that place. That yellow rug I really loved. I thought it was very pretty and just really stood out. And then my husband liked the texture of those rugs, and he was saying that he thought our daughter might like the purple one. So some of the smaller rugs were in the middle on this side. Now we moved on to the lamps, and when I went to fill those lamps, they looked heavy, but they were really light. So I was telling my husband, they look heavy, but they're really light. And so he had to touch it to see what I was talking about. And then we talked about these lamps just because they reminded us of old school lamps like that we would see at our grandparents' house. Just very, older style lamps that had a lot of, clean lines and just were very simple. So we really like those lamps. And so in this area, there were, a lot of fixture type items like screws and, different lamps that lighting fixtures rather that you could assemble and, for your, bathroom, any room. And then it also has some more lamps on the other side. So now we are in a section where it just kind of has a lot of different things. So these were some cool baskets that I saw that I really liked. Lately I've been getting baskets and just, kind of organizing here and there. And then these were heavy. I'm not even sure what they were made out of. So it was like, almost like a hard wood, but it didn't say what type of wood. So those were interesting. And then we came to this section. We saw a dog bed, thought we might get it for our dog, but it was a little pricey in comparison to some other places that we looked at for getting her a new little dog bed. And so in the middle in these beds, they had like different pillows and just random stuff, like moving stuff. And then they had pictures, artwork. As you can see, there's some dog artwork. And then they had some masks. And I was telling my husband that those were neat. And when I touched it, they were pretty heavy. I don't know if I would put that up in my house because I'd be scared, like trying to go to the kitchen in the middle of the night. But I certainly thought they were neat. So I told my husband to touch them, but he decided he wanted to move them. I'm like, sir, we're not paying for this. So now we're just going down the aisle. So this is like, I guess, a kitchen aisle. So we were checking out um, some of the pans and stuff and pots and stuff. And they were, they seemed to be very good quality. Like my husband was picking up a saucepan and he was saying how heavy it was. So a lot of the cookware was, looked to be like stainless steel and very heavy. And as you can see, they had a lot of different things in here. So then they had like different signs, how to tell time, um, just a lot of different, things for your home, which I thought was neat. And like I said, this place was like huge. Like it felt like a warehouse just because it was so big. And so we did a lot of walking around. So that's my husband checking out a serving tray. They have some other items here. You know, I was looking for like a organizer. He saw that mallet, but when we were walking, I actually saw a sales associate that worked there and asked her, and she said they hadn't had any in a long time. And usually when they do, they go pretty quickly. So I said I'll just have to find another tray for my ottoman in my living room somewhere else. So here um, they had some, I guess you call them, I don't even know what to call them, but you basically put them on the table, and if your pot is hot, you set them on there. I forgot what they're called. If you know, comment below. Here in this section, they had like candles and incense. And then this middle section had lamps and just furniture, just all out furniture. The only challenge I had with the furniture is that they had a lot of furniture, but it was like very dusty. These were some chairs that me and my husband thought were really cool. He actually sat down in one, just so that we could see, if they just looked comfortable. But he said they were pretty comfortable. So here we are, like I said, going through the furniture section. And I mean, they had sofas, chairs, tables, stools. So we just were walking through this section. It got a little cramped, so you got to be able to kind of maneuver if you have a cart, just because there's so much stuff in there. So lots of chairs, bar stool chairs. So they had a lot of shelves. So, definitely the place if, you are trying to, decorate or, redesign your house. Um, this section almost seemed like a big maze. And they had like this really neat table there. It was very solid. I think I'm looking around for my husband because I have no idea where I'm at. So then now we're in an aisle where they had like picture frames, lots of different picture frames. I didn't find those very competitive in price. This is towards the front, a lot of artwork and mirrors. I thought the mirrors were really nice. Artwork. And so now we're in the beginning. I think my husband looking at a sword or something, and they had an old school Atari set, ceramic serving dish. And then they had a lot of little ceramics, like I said in the beginning, the front door. That's my husband looking at some homemade like syrup products and jam and stuff. Little teapots, ceramic teapots, which I thought were very cute.